Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. You got your hosts Andrade and Irwin back at it again. And let's just jump off to the top with the questions because we got a few enticing topics that have been happening recently. And to start it off, congratulations, Carmelo Anthony, for coming back into the league. And Irwin, I'm just going to throw it off to you already. Is the Portland Trailblazers signing Carmelo Anthony a good move for the team or not?
That's a good question. They got nothing to lose. I mean, right now they're off to a 4-7 start, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So things can only, get better, I believe. And they certainly have the talent, and they also have, the right coaching staff in place with Terry Stotts. He's been there for a while.
True.
And they have the leadership in the locker room with Dame, CJ McCollum, to be able to, support this type of move. And in addition, Carmelo Anthony, we could agree he's on the twilight of his career. There's probably going to be, perhaps his last team that he's going to hang on to. And the guy, he wants to win a championship. He's accomplished pretty much anything that you could possibly, accomplish in the NBA.
Has he?
Well, yeah, the guy's been a multiple All-Star.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's been a champion when it comes to the Olympic gold medals.
Ooh.
Hey, I mean, that's still something. The guy can ball, and he wants to win a championship. And expectations, for Portland in the beginning of the season was as a dark horse to win the championship. I think it can go well. It all depends, if Carmelo, if this past year that he's been off has kind of taught him to humble himself.
I think so.
To be able to come off the bench and to actually listen to what the coaching staff has.
Yeah, I mean, him moving to Portland, I think, says a lot about how much he's humbled himself.
In addition, be able to, refine his game instead of, going for these complicated long twos, and contested shots.
Mm-hmm.
If they want you to be a 3-point shooter, then it could work. I think it'll work just fine, and I think what they'll need, he'll be good for the second unit.
Got you.
However, if Carmelo hasn't learned anything whatsoever and he still has that ego, which kind of reminds me of Allen Iverson, in the tail end of his career, when he was in the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Then it's not going to end well. It's going to end like that.
Okay. So you really think this could be his last team?
I think it's going to be his last team, and I really hope that...
Because I think it's just a non-guaranteed. I think it's only 1 year contract. I'm not sure.
It's a 1 year contract, and it's non-guaranteed. So there's nothing to lose for the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, true that.
Regarding that, it could only be beneficial. And Carmelo, in short bursts, he's obviously not the same player as he used to be, but I believe in short bursts, I think he could be a very effective player.
My ultimate feeling on this is basically what I tweeted from the Ball Talk Deep account on Twitter, which was Portland signing Carmelo is a desperate move by the Trailblazers, but at least Melo is back in the league. And it's just ever since I was a kid, seeing the 03 draft come into play and seeing all the 03 rookies at the time blossom into their careers, I've never been a big Melo fan. I've always thought he was kind of overrated as a star because I've never gotten that winner's mentality from him.
Same. Well,
and
he was a champion in Syracuse, so maybe not that.
Yeah, he had that in college, but that was about it. But ever since he's been in the NBA, it's always been about scoring. But he's never accomplished even anything as an individual player that was of high regard. I think he did have the scoring title for a year at least. I'm not sure. I think so.
Maybe.
But he's never gotten Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, MVP of the regular season. He's never had a deep playoff run. Has always had locker room trouble to an extent, he's never shown that genuine leadership.
I mean, I believe in 2009, 2008 they did have that when the Nuggets had Chauncey Billups on the team. I believe they made it to the Western Conference Finals.
That's what I was wondering. Did they make it to?
They did the Western Conference Finals, and they got eliminated by Kobe.
But that was at one time.
One time, yeah. You obviously need more time.
And I think after that, or even besides that anomaly, it was mostly first round exits, right?
First round, second round exits.
Yeah, I know
for
a couple.
But
I think most of them were first round, and it's
the Knicks. I mean,
the way that Carmelo was getting hyped in the late 2000s. I'm not even gonna talk about the Knicks because to me, his Knicks move his career to me is ultimate peak was during Denver's days. And there was one moment where I thought, he could have a possible where I thought, maybe I might be a fan of him and the Nuggets was when Iverson signed the Nuggets in 06, 07 or something. And that was when Iverson still had game, you feel me?
But you know what? Something I want to bring up as well that I didn't mention in my point. I always thought Carmelo would be, a great forward, power forward. Not necessarily as a small forward. And something that caught my attention is that the Blazers, they plan to use him as a power forward. And I think,
Yeah, I was
especially
gonna touch on that.
for today's NBA, the whole stretch four idea, I think that would be the ideal position for Carmelo.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, like you said, today's NBA, the way they play is actually a better opportunity for Carmelo. Um, but even, well, at least back then he was a lot of ISO, which it has moved to a lot of ISO ball these days. But I mean, when it comes to Portland, these are the stats on Melo for his recent times. The Rockets that season when he was on the floor and when he was off the floor, the defensive efficiency would change drastically, as you guys can tell right here. And then his scoring punch from the last 2 seasons that he played, 15.9 per game, 5.8 rebounds, and 3-point field goal percentage was 35%. He could help out in that forward position. And then these are the four Blazers power forwards at the start of this season. As you can tell, there hasn't been a lot of how would you say, a lot of substance at that position for the Blazers. Like Zach Collins, Nazir Little, Mario Hezonja, Anthony Tolliver, like these are their stats. It's been okay. So, like I said, desperate move. Will Carmelo do much for the Blazers? I don't think so. Whether he's second unit or first, I think he might have a couple of glamour games, but that's it. And I don't think the Blazers are gonna go very far again this season. I think last season when they made it to the Western Conference Finals was kind of a fluke. They got a little lucky in the way the seedings worked out, and they made it work. Dame time, but this season they're off to a rough start. But I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I don't think this move is going to do much, and I'm not sure even with this move or without, or even if they make extra moves, how far Portland's going to go this season. So, yeah.